A little bit about the Revenue Forum. This is a non-profit initiative started by me in 2008. And currently we organize webinars. We hold these on Thursdays every 6 weeks. Half-day seminars in 10 cities and 8 countries. The coming seminars will be held in Rotterdam, Brussels and Amsterdam next week. And Helsinki, Oslo, Reykjavik in November. I will give more information at the end of this webinar. We also organize whole day events. This is a unique hybrid event and simultaneously online as well as physically in Stockholm, London, Milan, and most probably more cities throughout the world. The next one is planned on the 31st of January next year. And also here, more information to follow at the end of this webinar. The topic of this episode is must-have technology for hotels. And we have invited an expert panel as well as our special guest, Dave Overeem from Inntel Hotels, to talk about their view on the subjects. We will close off the hour with a panel discussion. Participants of this webinar are a broad mix of listeners from all over the world. They are hotels ranging from 2 to 5 star, independent and large brand. We will make this coming hours inspiring to you all. Our expert panel consists of 5 speakers and our special guest from Inntel Hotels. Expert speakers will each get 5 minutes to talk. We use a Pachacucha format, and this means that the presentation slides automatically change after 20 or 30 seconds. Let me start with the introduction of myself. My name is Annemarie Gubanski, and apart from being the organizer of Revenue Forums, I am founder and CEO of Taktikon Consultancy and our soft brand Taktikon Hotels. Today, I will talk about how drastic change can help us to be more innovative. Now, over to our next speaker, Nikolai Kronborg.
Hi, I'm Nikolai Kronborg. I'm the CEO at AeroGuest. We two-way integrate to hotels' PMS systems in order to check in guests completely before they arrive. So we do a lot of interaction with technology out there in the world.
Hi.
Hello.
Go for it, Chris.
Yes, I'm Chris Ashton. I'm the VP for Account Management at The Edge Hospitality Solutions. Today, I'm delighted to be able to speak about maximizing, improving, and enhancing the performance of your property thanks to technology and marketing solutions.
Thank you, Chris. My name is Christina Blage. I'm the CEO and founder of Open Revenue Consulting, a strategic tech consulting firm focused on driving asset growth for hotels. And today I'll talk about just that, how to drive sustainable hotel asset growth.
Hi, my name is Neville Isaac. I'm the Chief Customer Officer at BeonPrice. We provide revenue management technology solutions for hotels. And today I'm going to be talking about the move towards total profit management and how important it is to have an integrated tech stack in order to achieve this.
And my name is Dave. I am the Director of Revenue Management for Inntel Hotels in the Netherlands.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, let's start the presentations. And we will start with me, which is nice because then I am just like rid of this. It's nerve-wracking, these Pachacuchas, but I am ready. My name is Annemarie Gubanski, and I am founder of Taktikon, which is a consultancy specializing in revenue management and distribution. I am also co-founder of Taktikon Hotels, which is a soft brand for independent hotels who would like to remain independent together with us. In these 5 minutes, I thought to talk about how drastic change can help us to be more innovative. I've taken the help of my favorite podcast, Cautionary Tales, and a specific episode about the eruption of the volcano Mount Tambora. When this volcano erupted in the year 1815, it spewed ash across the globe, blotting out the sun, poisoning crops and bringing starvation, illness and deaths to millions. Areas that were hit particularly hard by the effect of the Tambora eruption were New England and Europe. Frost and snow appeared in June, July and August and destroyed almost all crops. Farmers were forced to slaughter their animals due to lack of corn, which was barely enough to feed the people. This was still at a time when we used horses for transportation. And as people could not afford to feed and keep these horses anymore, transportation got to be an issue. Around that time, a German aristocrat and inventor, Karl von Drais, was working on what was then called a wooden horse or hobby horse, which actually was a first draft of a bicycle. This bicycle ancestor was not perfect yet. There were no gears or pedals. Riders simply pushed the bikes forward with their feet, and it only worked on perfect roads. The idea needed to be improved, but as there was a critical mass of people who wanted to try it out, Karl got the means to improve it. Today, many can still not afford a horse, but most can afford a bicycle, and the production of bikes currently outpaces the production of cars. At the same time, a young and, again, German chemist, Justus Liebig, reacted more to the fact that people could not afford to eat and dreamed about a world where nobody should go hungry. He experimented with plants and fertilizers and invented baby milk by using wheat flour, cow's milk, malt flour, and potassium bicarbonate. This way, we have the possibility to feed newborns, but also have found a way to help the world diminish starvation. These two effects would probably have happened anyway, but it got speeded up because of the eruption of the volcano. It created a critical mass of people wanting to test these new innovations, which in its turn caused the innovators to succeed and improve. If everyone is forced to solve the same problem, the solution gets developed. If we compare this with modern time, many hotels are in the situation where we see shortage of staff. At the same time, guests are even more demanding when it comes to the level of service they get. It is a good thing that most hoteliers are in this business because they want to take care of guests. Reality, though, is that the world of a hotelier is a very complex and technical one. This is one of the reasons why soft brands such as our recently started Taktikon Hotels can help. They adapt sales, marketing, and distribution strategies to the individual hotel's needs. Simply said, they take care of everything when hoteliers can continue to do what they do best, being hoteliers. Guests also demand a different type of communication. They want to be recognized and want hotels to offer service and products adapted to their specific needs and preferences. No longer can we have loyalty programs which are based on simply collecting points. We need to get loyalty programs which are based on guest recognition. Luckily, as we're talking about the critical mass, there are good systems being developed. A great CRM system enables hotels to create modern loyalty programs, as they can collect all the information about the guest, which gives them the opportunity to speak to them about their interests and enables the operative departments to recognize the guests during their stay. So what am I saying? We come from 2 years with restrictions due to a pandemic, and are now in a situation where economic crises are causing high inflations and increased costs for all. These are drastic times, but drastic times also make us more innovative. We must embrace all developments that come out of this situation and create a critical mass for tech companies to develop and enhance their products, which will help us to solve our issue. We currently live in a situation where we lack the hands we need to give our guests the high level of service they want and deserve. Technology can help us to solve that issue. That means that we, as an industry, need to dare invest, even though we are living in a time where increased costs might make us want to spend less money. So when you invest, make sure that it either enhances guest service, decrease costs, and/or make yourself more effective. Well, and that was all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the 5 minutes I gave myself during this webinar. Please do get in touch with me, and if you want to know more about Taktikon and our recently started soft brand Taktikon Hotels. We started this because we do see the need for hotels to be more effective and continue to be profitable. We've chosen SHR as our partner because we believe they develop high-end technology, which help us to become the high-end quality soft brand we intend to be. If you want to listen to a great quality podcast, I can highly recommend checking out the Cautionary Tales. And that was it for me today. As said, hope you enjoyed it. We are ready for the next speaker, Nikolai. Nikolai, are you ready as well?
Thank you, Annemarie. I'm here. As you heard before, my name is Nikolai Kronborg. I'm the CEO at AeroGuest. And what we do on a daily basis is that we listen a lot to the guest demand out there. And one of the demands is that they want to be checked in before they arrive, just like the airlines. So in order for us to do that, we need to implement our technology to a lot of other technologies. And that's a jungle out there. There's so many providers. So today I want to talk a little about what you need to prepare yourself for. So please go ahead, Juliana. Yeah, so first of all, we experience that hotels looking for technology, they might not even have a strategy for it. So nail that strategy. What is it you want to achieve? What is it you want to accomplish? Is it increased revenue, reduce your cost, enhance the guest experience, be more data compliant, just upgrade your technology to more modern technology? It can be many things, and it can be different things from different departments in your hotel operations. Start listening. Listen to your guests. Don't listen to your colleagues necessarily. Find out what your real customers want, which is your guests. Identify what megatrends is going on there. If it's mobile check-in or if it's GDPR compliance, whatever it is, opening doors with a mobile phone. Identify the technology megatrends. Look at your competitors. Don't be afraid to visit hotels you think is doing a great thing. Then try to imagine that demand that you experience from these guests in your hotel. How does it affect, the physical environment? Do I need to rebuild anything? Do I need to change my organization? Do I need to change my communication to the guests? How does it affect my RevPAR, my revenue, my cost base? All these things you need to take into considerations before you do anything, and spend some time on it. And now that you've imagined that, you can start looking for technology that could support that vision or that strategy. And with all the hotels we've been talking with all over the world, nothing fits 100%. A lot of hotels think that the world is like that, but it's not. So you need to, tweak everything and find the technology, that align your expectations the best possible way. And I think this is something that we focusing on a lot at AeroGuest. You need to organize around this technology. Who is responsible not only for implementing it, but operating it, and talking to the suppliers like us or revenue management or PMSs to make sure that it does what you want it to do. And you need to get buy-in from all departments because you're all interdependent of technology within your hotel. So that's very, very important, and it takes time. It might sound obvious, but a lot of people don't do this, set goals. Otherwise, you don't know if you are achieving anything. So when you find a technology, make sure what do you want to achieve with it. Use these key performance indicators that can tell you that you're reaching these goals and thereby moving your company, your hotel forward. Extremely important. And there can be a lot of different goals. So prioritize them. And then you start measuring. How is it going? Does it work like, you intended it? And that can also be difficult. So that's also something you need to talk to a technology providers about, that you have to be able to measure it, help us out if necessary, have the finance department measuring it, have the revenue management measuring it. So you have all kinds of data to make sure that you are going in the right direction. From there on, you're not done. From there on, you actually first started. So now you have your technology that works fine, or maybe, 50% of the time or whatever. So you need to listen to that. And then you start adapting, tweaking, making it better. And then you start to really refine it so you can get as close to the 100% fit as possible. And you need to be patient. This takes time, not only for the technology to be implemented and adapt, but more importantly for the organization to embrace it and understand it and start working with it. People can be afraid of new technology, so they don't want to get involved. And that's very important that that does not happen. Everybody needs to gather around the technology that you want to implement. And the final slides, this is what I think is very important, be very aware that when you implement technology, often there's so many good side effects. An example at AeroGuest is that suddenly you have 50% of your arrivals that is checked in before they arrive. So maybe you can completely rebuild your whole lobby area. That's a side effect. Or maybe you can get all their emails and all their data in the web check-in flow. So suddenly you can start communicating with them and do upsell. So that was just a few examples. Thank you for your time. Here's my data. You know where to reach me.
Thank you so very much for that. I love it. Actually, at Taktikon, we do system audits, and we started with this because, I mean, we sometimes find that hotels, the way they choose systems is like, okay, I spoke to a salesperson I like, or there's another hotel that has it. And I think you clearly actually showed the way you actually can find the best technology, but it takes time. It does take time. Thank you so much for that.
No problem.
Okay. There's already one question coming in from the attendees. Please keep them coming, and we will take them up later on in the panel discussion. But before that, we have our next speaker ready, I hope. Chris, are you ready?
Absolutely. Hello again. I'm really glad to be presenting to this qualified audience of hospitality professionals today. I am Chris Ashton, and I am the VP for Account Management, EMEA and Americas at The Edge Hospitality Solutions. My background is initially in hotel sales and marketing, and more recently for the past 15 years in hotel distribution. For those of you who are less familiar with our The Edge brand, a little about who we are and what we do. The Edge is the European #1 and world #3 hotel distribution technology provider in hospitality. So we help hoteliers leverage the entire distribution value chain. Today, we've got approximately 18,000 properties signed up and a presence across all continents. So now that the presentations have been made, let us delve right into the topic on hand. The premise is that technology, automation, machine learning, and artificial intelligence are all here to support growth, maximize revenue, drive efficiency in operations, and enhance guest satisfaction. What we're seeing in hospitality in a time of recovery is an industry that needs to adapt to challenges. Fluctuating demand, shortage of qualified staff, inflation, the list goes on. This makes it more important than ever to differentiate from competition and earn the loyalty from travelers. Technology can play a key part in gaining competitive advantage here. Where exactly does this technology come into play? Revisiting the guest booking journey and its various stages reveals it consists of a number of points of contact, each representing an opportunity for the hotelier to leverage existing technology to his or her advantage. Let us take a closer look at each stage of the guest journey to focus on key travel tech solutions commonly considered as must-have along the way. In the initial discovery stage, travelers are looking for inspiration. Search activity trends to be broad and destination-oriented, favoring platforms like Google, TripAdvisor, and social media. For efficient targeting, you need to know your customer. So we're talking guest data here, implying use of a customer relationship management tool, a CRM or a CDN, and also digital marketing and associated media tools. Next, in the decision-making stage, bookers narrow down their options. It is now you must stand out from your competitors. Leverage technology solutions. Gain strategic visibility on diverse distribution channels. Use a channel manager and connectivity solutions to all major players. Think billboard effect. Also ensure competitive pricing to drive conversion and direct traffic. Use data intelligence tools, automate dynamic pricing powered by revenue management solutions and digital marketing solutions for meta search efficiency. Your aim is to convert the looker into a booker, ideally on your direct channel, your website. In the decision-making stage, it's digital marketing that will win you the customer. Due to the time component and the complexity, many hoteliers either limit their actions or entirely outsource. The great news is you can now entirely own this traffic acquisition process. Easy to use multi-digital media platforms designed for hoteliers are a real must-have technology solution. Save costs and reap the benefits of owning and running your own centralized digital media campaigns, thereby maximizing profitability. Next, the purchase stage. Now is the moment of truth. Travelers have narrowed down the options to one property and are ready to make a booking. Will it be your property? Will it be direct on your website? You want to win the direct booking, and yes, you can, thanks to the power of technology again. The technology solutions you need are a great booking engine on your equally slick website with a state-of-the-art integrated and automated payment gateway for online bookers, plus a central reservation office software for your offline bookers. The actual payments for the transaction still remains a significant pitfall and conversion killer for hotels. In comparison, the hotel industry is lagging behind. Likewise, compliance and regulatory deadlines must urgently be met. See me waving the red flag of PSD2. I urge hoteliers to explore new payment solution technology in the form of integrated and automated payment gateways in line with current online shopping standards. Think mobile-friendly alternatives, Apple Pay, Google Pay, a fully secured payment funnel, and seamless one-click bookings to simplify and enhance the payment experience for hotels as well as their guests. Your work doesn't end with a booking. In some ways, it just begins. Starting from arrival and through to departure, there are opportunities for marketing, for enhancing the travel experience, and for monetizing interactions and existing assets through technology. Importantly, to enhance the guest experience and effectively communicate with him or her, you need to know them, know their preferences. Knowing your guests starts with data. To efficiently collect guest data, hoteliers need to adopt the usage of CRM technology. Guest data is more and more becoming a hotel's most valuable asset. To monetize and effectively leverage data, hotels need to invest in adequate technology without delay. The sharing stage begins after guests depart and continues throughout to their next trip when the traveler journey recommences. This is the time guests are most likely to share their experience with others through word of mouth, on social media, or in online reviews. Central data management technology helps target, customize, and automate marketing strategy. Some examples are sending post-stay surveys, asking to post online reviews, inviting guests to follow you on Facebook and Instagram, inviting them to join your loyalty program, sending special offers to entice guests back, and monthly newsletters to remain top of mind. In conclusion, we have reviewed existing must-have technology. Now moving on to the question, to answering the question of how to choose technology, our vision and recommendations at the Edge are, as displayed, favor cloud-based for flexibility and agility, ensure scalability of the tool itself, and compatibility to interface to the ecosystem of your choice. There's no way around real-time in your digital connected world. Security, compliance, and reliability are non-negotiable. Think global reach and local relevancy at the same time. Around-the-clock support and expert advice is a real asset. We are in a people-first industry after all. So that's a wrap. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to address any queries, answers, questions, and take feedback during the panel discussion and Q&A session. Stay tuned for more awesome content from the next speakers and the next following panel discussion.
Thank you so much. I get jealous of how these professional presentations, but I think what you showed very nicely here is, if you talk to hoteliers, like why are they in this industry? They talk about the guests like being dazzled by the receptionist and the nice beds and the great design and so on. But yeah, what you show is it's not really a world of guest experience anymore. It's a very technical and complex world, right? Love the way you visualize it. Thank you. Okay, let's see what our next speaker has in mind for us. Christina, my darling, are you ready?
Surely am. Thank you very much, Annemarie. I'm delighted to be here. Really glad for receiving this invitation. My name is Christina Blaj. I'm the founder and CEO of Open Revenue Consulting, a strategic tech consulting firm with over 15 years experience in delivering asset growth for hotels and integrating asset management and sustainability with revenue and marketing strategy in every touch point across a hotel's guest journey. And today I will talk about how owners and operators can grow the asset value of their hotels and manage the energy crisis and labor shortage using technology and automation. We can start. To increase asset value, hotels need to think of digital transformation across 4 business areas. Integrating sustainable asset management in every layer of their operation, use guest journey to connect with the customer and personalize their experience, understand customer lifetime value and convert guests into brand ambassadors. Connect all teams around the total revenue and profit strategy culture holistically. And of course, sustainable asset management is the first pillar of to lay the foundation of a profitable and sustainable operation. I guess no business model is really future-proof if it's not sustainable. And the carbon-intensive companies face economic risks in a world of increasing consumer sensitivity and fundamental technological advances. The race to sustainability of our sectors and the fight against climate change is already underway. We surely are faced with a European and national scenario marked by tightening regulations and mounting pressure that call for immediate action to reach environmental sustainability and reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by at least 50% by 2030. This will help Europe become a climate neutral continent by 2050. But we all need to change the trajectory of CO2 levels in the atmosphere to keep the global temperature rise below 2% this century and avoid climate change becoming any more extreme. Europe is already leading the way in sustainable asset funds with an increase of over 4 times since 2018. Investors are integrating sustainability into their portfolios through environmental, social, and governance non-financial factors to identify what are those material risk and growth opportunities. There are many incentives awaiting hoteliers for embarking on the road to sustainability. It surely helps them be more attractive to investors, but also helps them become more competitive and accessing funds while retaining talent. What opportunity opens up asset management technology in a hotel? By digitalizing back office, quality and compliance processes, holding data at hotel asset level helps hotels set asset management KPIs per department and see how improving points in asset management KPIs impacts guest experience and customer satisfaction level and how it impacts the GOP. It also helps identifying operational pain points and immediately reduce unnecessary costs. It also allows for measuring and reducing the use of energy, water, and greenhouse gas emissions by automatically calculating your carbon footprint, which is becoming mandatory across businesses. Your sustainability strategy can be put in place and monitored. And with energy costs triplicating in less than a year, circular economy and renewable energy is the immediate answer to the hospitality energy crisis. Affordable, compact technology is available with ROIs in less than 18 months. Companies helping to solve the world's biggest challenge can be best positioned to grow, as the World Economic Forum also highlights. Sustainability also tops post-pandemic guest preferences, with more than 57% of the guests recently surveyed by Booking.com choosing a more sustainable experience for their holiday. Hotels need to align sustainability into their brand's vision and make sure it stands out as a distinctive attribute throughout the guest journey and is an integral part of their guest experience. 70% of consumers expect quality personalization in their guest journey that is aligned with their booking intent and buying behavior. hotels can now contextualize their targeted strategies to each user and geography with personalized experiential incentives. Without personalization, every other visit to the website can be a missed opportunity. With industry's conversion rate at 1 to 2%, we can say it's extremely easy to lose consumers on the website unless they find a compelling experience. A new breed of user-friendly technology has emerged over the past few years called RMA, Rev Marketing Automation. For the first time, revenue and marketing teams can work hand in hand to identify groups of consumers they can automatically execute strategies directly to in the page of the hotel website based on specific revenue priorities and consumer buying behavior. It's also a unique opportunity to inform guests and integrate hotel sustainability initiatives into the actual guest journey of a user. And once you have your guest attention and they made it to the booking engine, you have a prime opportunity to wow your customers and immerse them into your hotel's experience with an aerial view of its amenities, allowing them to step into the hotel before they even reach it to your front door. This will make sure you remove any doubt from the booking process. There's just a few of the technology tips to help your hotels reach their asset growth potential while retaining and attracting their talent. But thank you all very much for your attention, and you're very welcome to connect for any additional tips and advice. Thank you, Annemarie.
No, thank you, Christina. And I love also, you see the impact now increasing from environmental change. And I really thank you for also just like pointing out that it's a profitable thing to actually try to help the environment. So thank you for that. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Let's go to our final expert speaker, Neville. Are you there? Are you ready?
Hi, hello again. My name is Neville Isaac, as I mentioned before. I am a Scotsman living in Madrid, so I've fled from the cold to the heat. And I work for BeonPrice, where we provide revenue management technology solutions for hotels. Let's go and get into the content for today's presentation. So I want to talk a little bit about total profit and how technology is important to reach this goal. Annemarie mentioned that the industry has changed enormously in the last 2 years. We're doing more with less. We need to maximize all our revenue streams. Our margins are being squeezed. And in order to do that, we really need to think about what tech can help us in order to reach our goals. If we think about revenue management traditionally, we basically focused on rooms revenue. When we're pretty good at this, but now we need to start thinking about more things: net revenue, a distribution strategy, total revenue. What other income streams do I have in my hotel, and how can I maximize these? And if we put all these things together, we can actually start thinking about profitability. And what profitability am I extracting from my property per square meter? This is what we call total profit management. And we think that here hotels need to start looking at different KPIs than the classic ones that we tend to use in revenue management. So you need to map out your guest journey, understand on every touch point how you can impact revenues, and also think about the customer lifetime value, which means you need to really understand the behavior of your customers. Hotels don't just sell rooms, and this is just a schematic example, but there's a lot of additional revenues that could really lead us to measure the total revenue contribution of our guests rather than just how much they spend on a room and how much RevPAR they're producing. So there's a lot of additional revenue streams, and you need to think about whether you're actually managing these and how you maximize them and what data you have in order to be able to take decisions. This leads me to the other crucial point here, is that if you want to start thinking about total profit management, the challenge is, how do you connect the dots between all the different revenue streams? How do you connect the dots between all the tools that you're maybe using? And how can you have an integrated strategy where every element of the customer journey is managed to produce a total revenue contribution and a total profit contribution that maximizes your income from your assets. If we think about hotels, hoteliers get bombarded every day with people like me from tech companies telling them that we've got the solution to all their problems. And it's very hard to understand where you should invest your money. So you really first need to think, and I think Nikolai mentioned this, you need to first think about your strategy. Then you need to think about what tools you have available and are they going to help you to reach your objectives? And then, in fact, the next step would be, are these tools connected? And I think this is really important for us. We really need to think about more advanced way of doing revenue management, more advanced tools, interconnected tools, breaking down silos in terms of information, and trying to find ways to make the decision-making process easier and more efficient, which would obviously reduce our time to market and increase our potential profitability. So what I'm saying here really is, you need to think about your tech stack as a whole. You need to think about how you can maximize the profits for the whole of your guest journey. In order to do this, you need to have data in order to make profitable decisions. And ideally, and this is where I think we need to go, all the different tech applications that we're working on need to be interconnected. And in an ideal world, not just interconnected, but also with intelligence between them. So you may have a revenue management system that's managing your rooms revenue. You may have a revenue management system for your restaurant, because there are now tools like this. You may have something managing your parking. They need to speak to each other. And if they speak to each other, this will enable you to have a holistic strategy, an interconnected strategy, and this will really help you to be more profitable. This is what we call total profit. Annemarie mentioned this at the beginning, the world's changing very fast. So is revenue management. Revenue management's been stuck in a rut, in my opinion, for the last few years. COVID has changed that. But we need to now, to unlock our potential, find the correct technology, connect it together, use artificial intelligence and trust your hotel technology in order to be more efficient and in order to be more profitable. And that's really, I think, the future of revenue management in the hotel industry. So if you'd like to know more about this, these are my contact details. I'd be delighted to discuss this further with you whenever you like. Thank you very much.
Neville, thank you so much for this. I think we've been talking about revenue management moving over to total profit revenue management, and it feels that maybe finally, after all these years, we might get there. But there's this important thing, I think, that you also touch upon, the connectivity, but also the access to, I think, the right type of data. We might talk about that a little bit more during our discussion panel. Talking about which, please keep the questions coming. We have one question right now, and I'd like to have more questions to see if we can help you along the way. But let's first talk to our special guest, Dave Overeem. Dave, thank you so much for joining us on this webinar. Would you be able to tell us a little bit more about your backgrounds?
Yes, for sure. First of all, thank you for the invite for this webinar. My name is Dave, and I think I was like 5 years old that I was known already that hotel industry was the industry that I wanted to work in. At that time, I was more restaurant F&B oriented, but along the way, I actually found my heart more in the rooms division part. So that's actually what I aimed for. Started my education at Hotel School The Hague, graduated, and started more in front office first. And along the way, yeah, I would say my love for revenue management started as well. So nowadays, I'm working already for more than 10 years in revenue management, and I've seen actually different aspects of revenue management already, either in an independent sole hotel or in hostels industry. And nowadays, I'm working for Inntel Hotels, where I am the director of revenue management for 8 hotels. We are a privately owned hotel group of 8 different hotels throughout the Netherlands, 7 4-star hotels and 1 5-star hotel, which is in a more upper upscale class. And that hotel is as well a member of Design Hotels. So we're not the smallest in sense of number of rooms. Our smallest hotel is 159 rooms, the biggest 306. And we found ourselves more of a lifestyle hotels because we think the mix of the effort that you're taking to get into a city, but as well the relaxation is very important to us. So the USP of our hotels will definitely express that in the sense of that most of our hotels have got their own private wellness facilities in the rooms, which is a very, very nice product that we can sell. Most of our hotels are a mixture of business and leisure, while we nowadays, last year, opened our latest hotel in The Hague on the beach, which is new for us because the market there is totally new in the sense of that we are now as well established a more leisure hotel compared to all our other hotels. So that is, we love challenges, so it's very nice to have that hotel opened recently as well.
Yeah, and I love that beach, I can say. It's really nice. And I totally agree. Revenue management, it also stole our heart. It's a hotel group with now 8 hotels. But I mean, as also Chris mentioned, you need a lot of systems. So what challenges do you have when it comes to systems?
Well, if I look now at this moment, most of the highest topic is stay up to date. If you look into what our IT environment is having, while what is on the market right now, yeah, there are sometimes big differences. We always have said we prefer a one-stop shop in any system that we are using. But there are so many new systems on the market to take into considerations. And I would not say that we are systemless in sense of we are. On the other hand, we are not like the most early adapter as a company if we look in the tech world. But what we do see as well is that we actually are having more, yeah, I heard it earlier already, yeah, it's very good for a company to have a sort of IT strategy or a tech strategy. We as a hotel company, and I know that we are not the only one because many companies around me that I've heard have got the same. We not really have got the strategy, but we are at the end finding operational challenges or any other managerial challenges and find a solution to help that and make that more efficient. So we are ending up now in a sort of spaghetti IT system where any systems are being attached together, which works fine for us right now. But yeah, I'm not sure if that will be the future. An example, what we are facing right now is we are using Opera PMS for over 15 years. The most common phrase we hear here, and as well, I heard that in a lot of other companies, is, yeah, but we are always doing this like this way, so we don't want to change. Opera system with us is woven in the whole organization. So the challenge what we see now is as soon as we decide to think about changing a system, is not only finding the right system or the right tech solution for the hotels, but as well make sure that our staff and our people within our company is aligned with the change of the system and is happy in changing their daily routine into a different daily routine. And I think that is as well a very big aspect that many hotels are facing in finding a right IT environment, say.
Yeah, because you're currently really looking into it, right? So this connectivity is a big thing, changing your mind. Are there other things that actually challenges that you encountered along the way?
Well, we probably will start evaluate our PMS system next year. And I have done this project at a former employer already. And the first thing that we were facing, indeed, what I said is that a system with this that is this big has been woven into your organization pretty much. Every department, every people in different ways are working with a PMS system. What we do see nowadays, of course, I've done some investigation. What we see nowadays is that there are many systems that are really specialty systems. Let's say a PMS system is really driven to make a PMS system, while a M&E system for meeting and events are really focusing on having an M&E system that works perfectly for an M&E department. I would say, looking into what we are using right now as Opera PMS, I'm still a huge fan of the system, even though many people will probably disagree with me. The legacy system of Opera does provide us everything that we need within our hotel, with our hotel company. If you look into the newest kids on the block, let's say, many systems are like specialty in one thing. So if you'd like, for instance, if we need to change our whole Opera system, then we have to probably buy 4 different systems that need to be compatible with each other. And that compatibility sometimes makes it a little bit more challenging, because one system cannot talk to the other cannot talk to the one. If it is possible, then it is you can connect to each other if you have an issue, who you have to point to. The most important thing for us, if we're looking into a new system, is that we have got like a sort of one-stop shop. Many providers are giving you, but yeah, we will take it over for you, and we will take the whole support, even if you are connected with other systems. But practically, we see, I hear, and I know that at the end, if there's an issue in one of the systems, people are pointing to each other. While if you have got like a one-stop shop system, there's like one point to point to, one person or one system or one support department to point to. Especially if you look into how big we are. We are not the biggest hotel chain, so we don't have got like the biggest resources in spending time in finding solutions for issues. We prefer to have like a one-stop shop on that. And nowadays the systems are so separately made that it's sometimes very difficult to find a good like environment where you have got a whole circle of different systems that keep on talking to each other. So compatibility definitely is one of the biggest challenges we are facing looking into new systems.
So if you would say like your vision for the future system, it's this one-stop shop, talking to each other, solving everything kind of technology, or would you have another definition of what the future might bring for you?
Well, you said already, yeah, and I said it as well, there are so many new kids on the block. So I do understand that for the most of the tech companies, it's difficult to stay up to date with so many different ways of that systems are working. So definitely, I understand that that is a challenge sometimes for the providers as well. I would say, yeah, I hope, or my vision would be that maybe there is somewhere a developer that stands up and said, okay, I'm going to be the translator. I'm going to develop a system where all those systems can connect to each other, and you get this, the way of communication, the language of each system into the point that you are using, and understand the systems different to each other. That would be definitely my vision.
Yeah, some sort of a bridge that just like connects to each other without taking into account if you connect to your own system or another other system.
Exactly.
Okay, nice. Thank you really so much, Dave. I think maybe it's time to go into our panel discussion. If you have any questions to Dave or any one of us, we have received a few questions already. Just keep them coming. I think the first question we came in, I think, Chris, spontaneously, I think maybe you will be one of the best people to reply to them. You believe virtual tours are a must for hotels, for example, VR compatible Matterport tours. The last 3 words, I have no idea what you mean, but I hope that you do, Chris.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Virtual reality, yes, because it provides content. Customers base their choices on content. So this is an additional element. Is it key today? Definitely not. Will it be more so in the future? Most probably yes. So it's a no, not yes, not no answer. It's a nice to have, I'd say, to keep it short.
Yeah. But it should be nice. Sometimes it's also, you know, there are so many, especially hotel websites that start with this virtual tour or have some kind of a film into it. That it's also, it's difficult maybe to, in the end, to divert yourself from others. Sorry, did you want to add something?
No.
Okay. I think maybe a question to Nikolai. Which department or function should own innovation in your opinion? I don't know if you can answer that, or do you have an opinion about it?
I might have an opinion on it, and I might be able to answer it. It depends on the technology, but what I think is that the top level management of the hotel organization needs to have, you know, buy-in or ownership also on the technology. Not only, you know, should we invest in building 10 more rooms or changing the doors or the curtains or suppliers, they need to be part of that as well. As an example, I mean, the people working daily with AeroGuest is most often front desk people in regards to check-in. So there might be some decision making done down there at front desk in regards to AeroGuest. But if you want the full measurement of AeroGuest and all the stuff it can do also in terms of revenue management and stuff like that, management needs to know what the technology can do on a broader sense. And I think it's like that with many technologies. So like Dave mentioned, that we might look into a future of someone who can, you know, translate the connectivity. So today, there's been a lot of great technologies. You've seen new PMSs that is, you know, more easily can integrate third-party companies. The next big challenge is that when you find the, you know, let's say Dave is changing from Oracle to something that involves 5 technologies, and Dave thinks they're all 5 great, but they're great separately. When they talk to each other, there's problems. And that means that the ownership of that technology has to be on the top of the hotel, because you need to decide, we want to make it work that those 5 can talk to each other. Or maybe we have to shift one out after a year and another one, but that's a general picture. So it's the full management team who has ownership of this.
Yeah, I think also coming from our perspective, gladly also maybe the finance and the revenue department, because they're quite easily forgotten. But I think, Dave, you are in the process of doing this, right? Who's in the team of decision making? Is it just you, or is it just like the management team? How did you solve it?
Well, we are not there yet, but I definitely have an opinion in the sense of how we are going to do it, and especially if you're speaking about innovation, it should be a cross-departmental thing, not only like one department or one job should be deciding for others what to do. In the time with my former employer, when we started up the PMS switch project, we actually have sat down with every stakeholder that is using the PMS system within our organization and say, okay, what are your challenges right now? What are you facing? What are your wishes? What would you like to see in a new system? And how can we then address sort of, how do you say it, a program of demands for a new PMS system? So I think we need to divide it one side in more an operational facing thing and a strategical facing thing. Operationally, in sense of we're looking for a new system, who is using it, and what can we do to find everybody aligned in how the new system should look like, and strategically, especially in investment, because yeah, an IT investment is pretty a big investment. Yeah, and that is something that in our case, our CEO or at least top line management need to decide if they want to invest in such projects. We need to see a return on investment on that, of course, at the end as well, sort of. So that's a very important part of finding a solution. So that's why I said it's not only like a certain department or a certain job, it is really cross-departmental in this case.
I think also that might answer the question that Tiziana had about the importance of engaging everybody, the whole staff in this project, because I mean, if there's no engagement, it's very difficult to make that change.
For sure. Yeah, I agree.
I think, Neville, you also got a question, and I agree totally with the question, actually. We have great systems and BI tools for maximizing room revenue, but technology in maximizing other departments, and then in Jenna's case, especially then conference revenue or the total revenue. You mentioned there are systems coming up. Could you be a bit more specific about what type of systems would be good for applying total revenue management? Oh, you're on mute.
Talking to myself.
Most phrase in Zoom, yeah. Okay.
I don't think there's any one sort of panacea system that will enable you to manage total revenues or total profits. What we believe is that you need to pick the best tool for each of your revenue streams, and then you need to connect them together and add in artificial intelligence. That's there aren't tools available for everything that we need to do right now. There are revenue management tools available to maximize food and beverage. We work with a company called Dynamite, and they maximize restaurants and room service. So that's a very interesting company. It's a startup. There are companies which will enable you to maximize parking space. If you have a car park, the name has gone out of my head, but I'll put it on the chat when I remember. In terms of mice, we haven't yet come across anything that is really that we really think is meets the hotel's needs entirely. So we're constantly looking out for partners in this area. There are some RMS systems who include mice within their offering, but I think I'm sure there'll be coming up some independent operators who will be doing stuff in this area. So there's quite a lot out there. The question is to understand what you need and whether this company is going to meet your need or not. It's still an area where there's a lot to do, basically.
Yeah, I agree, and it's nice to see that there are systems coming up. We also have this challenge of getting the right information, right? Knowing the total value per guest. I mean, if a guest just like pays with their own credit card, how do we know that this specific market segment actually gives us an extra revenue? But I believe we're getting there. And I think I agree with you. It's nice that there's technology coming up.
I think here it's crucial to have really good BI. But obviously a BI only works on the data that you have. So this BI then needs to speak also to all the systems that you have in place. We work with a company called Julio Analytics, which is a company in Brussels. And they have pretty amazing BI for hotels. And you can then start looking at things like the net revenue contribution of each channel, the customer lifetime value, the customer acquisition costs. These are KPIs that revenue managers aren't looking at every day, but they should be. And then obviously you have to be able to take decisions based on this data and execute. So it's a big picture. There's lots of moving parts. And the only way, in my opinion, the only way that you can actually do this is with tech. You couldn't possibly do this manually, I don't think. Or you'd have to have hundreds of people in your team, which these days is not going to happen.
No, love the tech. Conscious for time, I have a question for Chris, and I have one for Christina as well. But let's start with Chris, because we're talking about this connectivity. You also mentioned this very, very, very nicely in your presentation. But I mean, connectivity still is a very big issue for hotels. Is there? Do you have an opinion? Is there any way we can we can make it easier for hotels? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Can we make it easier? That is a tough question, but there are solutions out there. I would refer to what both Neville and Dave mentioned. Dave, you said you were considering changing your PMS. For you, it's for anybody operational at a hotel, the PMS is kind of like the heartbeat of the property management. And Neville mentioned total revenue management, and we need to analyze new data sets. So I think this needs to, we need to shift our vision from a PMS-centric view of our tech ecosystem in hospitality to something which is more guest-centric CRS vision, I'd say, because the heart, the vital organ of the tech ecosystem, so to speak, is the CRS CDM combination, the central reservation system and the central data management platform. All data transits here to the distribution space, to the revenue management tools, to your direct booking engine with the PMS. So I'd say if hotels were able to envision a guest-centric CRS vision, they would then be able to connect all their satellite systems to the heart of the system, which is the CRS. So perhaps that's a biased view, but I deeply believe in the simplicity of connecting to one vital organ, whereas having a very complicated, intricate constellation. Hopefully that is the beginning of an answer.
Yeah, but I think you're right. We've always been talking about PMSs for as the heart of the organization, but it does make sense to make it a CRS-driven organization, especially also because this solves quite a number of issues when we need to have like guest details, I believe.
Exactly. It's all about the data, isn't it? We said data is the most valuable asset going forward. We talk about direct versus indirect reservations. If you want to leverage the power of your data, you need to have clean data, you need to have abundant data, and that then has to be managed on a central data management platform, which would then be connected to your CRS, and then you would have your whole satellite system around that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's right. Christina, actually, I think your presentation was quite much into actually total profit, because I mean, your point is sustainability actually helps you gain your profits. We had a few new KPIs. Do you believe that the hotel world is ready for it? I sometimes think the current situation actually might be the best thing that happened to a sustainable future.
I think your presentation is spot on, Annemarie, your Pecha Kucha presentation, as it talks about the impact of disasters upon delivering such innovation. I think absolutely we must be ready. It's something that can be very easily achieved by really being able to drill down into your operation. So digitalizing the back office, all of your compliance processes will give you that information to help you identify, well, where am I really leaving a lot of costs on the table, where I could really easily manage it and increase the lifetime value of my assets effectively. But I can then also integrate within one single solution my guest experience, my communication tool, my revenue and strategy tools that will talk through the guest journey, and holistically will give me a pretty good feel of how, once I understand where I sit on my sustainability plan, and how am I being able to track all the various actions that I'm doing within that area? How can I integrate them, give them visibility, make my company a lot more appealing, both to consumers as well as other partners and other vendors, but also investors. I think it connects all the variables that we need to take into account to be able to manage our business effectively and have a much more profitable operation. But certainly the direct connection, being able to nourish that relationship with our customers, create more meaningful conversations and manage their data effectively, to retain them and drive, convert them into brand ambassadors will be key for the future. And I think the pandemic's given us really the opportunity to center back on our direct efforts, to communicate with our guests and to retain them and to always convert them as much as we can within our direct channels. There's so many technologies out there, very simple changes and very simple technologies that can be easily implemented will make a big impact into our business.
Yeah, I love the fact also that you say that it's very important. I guess usually they look at your environmental policy. And I think also as an industry, we need to change a little bit. We need to just improve our image. The fact that traveling does not have to impact the environment as much as we say, but the industry needs to communicate also what they do in order to improve sustainability.
Absolutely. I think everyone is now looking to track what is your carbon footprint going to be traveling to this meeting or traveling to this conference. So there's a lot of awareness activity happening, but I think the solutions, that very simple solutions, can be easily implemented, just at least to find out where you're sitting on that scale of carbon footprint and start minimizing it, reducing it. And then if you want to move into more of the circular economy and renewable energy, there's compact solutions that are readily available there, which I would welcome all of our viewers to investigate, because within 2 to 3 meters of your hotel space, you can start producing all the electricity and the gas you need to sustain your operation, and the results are magnificent.
Thank you for that. Conscious of time, and we have been spending a little bit over an hour already. So, well, it's the end of the webinar. I hope you had an enjoyable hour. I learned a lot, at least. Our next webinar will be about packaging and increasing ancillary revenue, with speakers from Taktikon, Oki, Profit Room, and more. And you are very free to join again. We will send a recording of the webinar to you as soon as possible. Now, about the half-day seminars. We have started to organize these again after 2 years of pandemic. Such a thrill to finally start meeting people. The next ones are held in Rotterdam, Brussels, and Amsterdam already next week on the 6th, 7th, and 8th of September. And we will talk about how to gain market share from the OTAs. In November, we plan to hold seminars in Oslo, Helsinki, and Reykjavik for the first time. And we will find an interesting topic there as well. For hoteliers who want to spend half a day of inspiration and mingling, this is free of charge. You can find all the information about the seminars and webinars on our website, revenueforum.net. Furthermore, we are in the midst of organizing our next event on the 31st of January 2023. This is a unique and hybrid event held simultaneously in Stockholm, London, Milan, as well as online, and I hope you will be able to join. Those who cannot participate physically in any of the systems, there will be an online version where you can see the whole day, everything that we broadcast. And that was all for us for today. Hope to meet you on our next webinar or on one of the seminars or events we organize. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for your participation. Hope to see you next time in October. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.